In a society where some crafts are still considered as male-dominated, a young lady has found passion into shoemaking and accessories. Meet Mwafo Joyce, the creative mind behind Jafric Designs. Inspired by her childhood experiences, Joyce is using traditional Togo from the northwest and Dop from the west regions of Cameroon to produce footwears and other accessories.
Jafric Design stands for Joyce African Designs, and it is a brand that is out to bring us closer to the African culture. While I was growing, I discovered that a lot of my footwears were getting bad so quickly, and I always had issues with my mom because of that. So I took it upon myself, like, why don't I create shoes? Why don't I manufacture shoes that will be durable and that are going to make me to be very comfortable? So those are one of the things that inspired me to venture into shoemaking. Also, there was this time, permit me to use this story, there was this time I went for a traditional wedding, and then the people at the wedding, a lot of them were not dressed African. So I'm like, why is it called traditional wedding when we cannot dress traditional? Yeah. So I discovered that a lot of other things, or a lot of other youths like me, turned to embrace the Western culture instead of the African culture. So I took it upon myself, like, why don't I make us to embrace the African culture? And when we embrace the African culture, why don't I produce stuff that are going to make us to live this culture, right? So those are other things that made me to start this brand.
For over 5 years, Joyce has been melting hearts and putting smiles in the faces of her clients, both within and without Cameroon.
It is quite rare to see a young lady of this nature produce an African attire and regalia of all culture, especially from the northwest, which is something very rare to see of such an African talent. That is to show that we Africans were slowly rising up in building up our rights and our talents. At least come join me. Fashion come, tradition on.
Being a lady in a male-dominated craft is a challenge, coupled with poor electricity supply, but Joyce remains resolute, focusing on creating impact.
A lot of times people come and tell me that shoemaking is for boys, and I'm tempted to ask, who made shoemaking for boys? Shoemaking is not for boys. Shoemaking is a trade. So it's true that in the past a lot of guys were into shoemaking, or shoemaking was for guys in quotes, but it's something I am passionate about. I thank my mother every day for letting me do this. When I produce something from scratch here, like I start something from scratch and I realize what I have produced, it's kind of a very big motivation for me, right? So the desire, the passion for what I do keeps me going. Also, the fact that I create a kind of impact in my society, in my environment, keeps me going, because there are a lot of youths out there that I turn to encourage that, all right, you know, you could be independent, or you know, you could gain a craft that could save you and stuff like that. So that alone keeps me going. The fact that I could build a younger generation that embraces the African culture, and the fact that I could build a younger generation that could be crafty or handy, if I should say.
Through empowering the younger generation and promoting African culture, Jafric Designs is contributing positively in our community.
When I had my first huge order coming from the United States, so it was really big. This client reached out to me from, I think, TikTok, and she said she wanted to order for 50 pairs, and I thought it was a dream. Like, it was my very first big order, and she gave me, I think it was 1 or 2 months max to produce, because I had nothing in stock then. So I was like, God, am I going to do this? And it was really a very big deal. So I was working alone. I started producing. I worked day and night. Did I cry? Yes. Was I stressed? Yes. Did I feel like giving up? Yes. Did I give up? No. I kept on working. And when I met up with this order, I could not send. I think then I was in Bamenda, so I had to supply in Douala. So I was like, all right, let me just travel myself and go and give her. So when I gave her in Douala, she opened the bag and then she saw all the stuff that were inside and she was satisfied. I was like, God, thank you. Like, I felt happy. I felt fulfilled. I was like, that's my first big order. She's happy. She's satisfied with her order. So that was my first time.
With her brush in hand, thread and needle, Joyce is not just adding to the fashion industry, but stitching and carving a secured future for Cameroon's culture.